Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Androids team for the build of the week in Esbr. So there is an Androids SBR and there's an Androids ESBR. So yeah, we're going to be trying them out in the ESBR and we're going with a Android Cell Saga team. So although this is the Androids build of the week, I thought we would showcase a Android Cell Saga team, just because it could be a lot of fun. And yeah, it performs really well. There are a couple crucial units here, and there are some free-to-play units. But generally speaking, this team does well in SBR and ESBR because of a couple major, pointers. So firstly, it's got heals, which is really great. You've got like a good source of heals in the form of Int Perfect Cell. He's got his healing capabilities. You've got the tech orbs generated by Android 17 and 18, which I think helps out a lot as well. Then you also have the just general regeneration that comes from cell units, which is also really good. And yeah, just in general, some really strong healing mechanics. The utility is also pretty good on this team. We have the ability to delay enemies' super attacks with the Android 17 and 18. We have the ability to seal people with Android 17 and 18. We have orb changing with Android 17 and 18. We have key nullification with Android 17 and 18. We also have some really good supports in the form of 16, 17, and 18, and of course with the 17 and 18 future as well, the AGL LR. Lots of attack down, lots of defense down, sealing. We also obviously have, just helpful mechanisms, like this transformation, for example, with 16, 17, and 18. It makes Android 16 very strong, enables us to do a lot of damage with him as well. And we also have some pretty decent defensive capabilities. AGL Cell has his evasion, which is great. We also have the the 16, the Super Strike 16, who has the ability to guard attacks as well, which is also super duper helpful. So yeah, just in general, we have really strong overall capabilities, and I think that's what makes this team so solid for SBR and ESBR. It's just that it has such a fantastic level of control and of utility and lots of different alternating really powerful abilities that overlap well. Lots of good supports. The AGL LR is a fantastic support. The 16, 17, 18 is a good support. We've also got the AoE of Physical Cell, which by the way is also another form of healing. And yeah, we just got a lot. We got a lot that's really good. Now we do abuse a little bit of a tactic as well. Wherever possible, we try to enter into the next round. With the int cell basically at 30%, it gives us a full heal, which is incredibly helpful. It's like resetting on a fight. And it basically means that int cell also has a bit of a power boost. So yeah, it's pretty helpful. Now, of course, there's a couple things or a couple units you could switch in here. This is an Android Cell Saga based team. You could definitely build this team completely different. A whole bunch of Super 17s, throw in an Android 13, throw in an Android 21, and you've got also very good team that has a lot of utility as well. Android 13 can stun, Android 21 does a ton of attack lowering and healing. Super 17s are super strong defensively. They also lower defense as well, so there's a lot you can do in terms of all of these teams. And not to mention, there's great support choices in the form of Android 19 and 20. There's great choices in the form of Android 16 and 18. So yeah, just some really strong options all around. I think Androids has great SBR options. I think they've got a lot of good active skills, a lot of passive skills like transformations, heals. Key-wise, they're generally quite strong as well. So yeah, I think if you're looking for a good SBR team for like extreme SBR, or you could run them in quite a few actually. Androids, artificial life forms, extreme class SBR, also probably a pretty good one for them. You've got the Future Saga one, where you've got plenty of options. You've got Time Travelers, where you've got plenty of options. There's a lot of great options actually for you to run with these guys on, and I think that's always a good sign, personally speaking. So I like the versatility. The Android Cell Saga version of the Androids team is probably the team I like the most for doing SBR and ESBR content, because of the amount of good like active skills that you have, the amount of AoE, the defense down, the attack down especially, which is one of the more helpful mechanics in SBR and ESBR. I think that's all pretty good. Now, in terms of like the actual team, obviously we've run through quite a few of them, like as options or as units, I should say. So we've run through quite a few units in terms of like performance and everything. But Super Strike 16 is great. He's got guard. When he does guard, he reduces damage by 60%. There is always a chance for the guard to not proc. That is 100% something that can happen. It's not a major issue, but it can happen. And when it does, he takes quite a bit of damage. But that's okay. It is what it is. It is what happens. It's one of those things. The Tech Android 17 and 18, they're a great unit just in general. Creating Tech Orbs, they gain a huge amount of stats per Tech Orb that they obtain. They seal, and they do big damage, and they have active skills, and they nullify key attacks. So if that doesn't give you a great list of what the hell they all do, then yeah, I don't know. AGL Cell, so he starts in first form, and he has higher attack and defense, and evasion and crit chance depending on how many enemies he's facing, which is great in SBR. And then as he kind of evolves, or as he gets bigger, generally speaking, as he moves into his second and then his perfect form, he gets stronger against one enemy, which again is also something that suits the SBR ESBR mechanism quite well. Android 16, 17, and 18, the LR, they're pretty decent. They do have a medium chance of evasion, which is good. They lower attack and defense on their super attacks, which is helpful. They are a big support for the category as well. And you have their active skill, which is also generally what I would consider a pretty good active skill. One thing I will say, it is incredibly RNG based on how well they'll look when they perform. They can look really good and really bad, depending on how you get with RNG. So just be aware of that if you are looking to replicate this team. Android 17 and 18 Future, the free-to-play LR, they're just very good in general. They're always a unit that surprises me so much with how good they are. I always seem to forget how good they are, and then I'll like come back to content, or I will like do something with the Androids team, or like Future team, or just some kind of content in general, and I'll like come back and I'll try them out, and I'll be like, wow, these guys were really done well, and they were done really well. So yeah, they're great units. No qualms about it. They are just a fantastic unit, and I think overall they really do help the team. Now there's a couple, like I said, you could switch up this whole team. One notable unit that's not here that I do think would be a great addition is the Strength second form cell. Not only does he pair up really well with the first form cell, but he actually has the chance to medium stun all enemies if your entire rotation is Android Cell Saga, which is pretty good if you ask me. It's basically a free item without having to use an item, and that's pretty good. Generally speaking, that tends to help. So yeah, I would say overall the team is definitely good. Like, we're definitely in a very good space. I think no item in the stage is something that's, like I said, is a little bit RNG dependent. Because we don't have Gamma 1, because we don't have Android 16 and 18, we don't have these first slot tanks or these units that have the ability to tank first slot. We only really have Super Strike 16. So there is a little bit more RNG in this run than one would like. We rely a lot on AGL Cell to evade, and fortunately he does, like, a lot. He did an excellent job, and it just reminds me how good, like, AGL Cell is as a unit, honestly. Like, it just reminds me a lot of how good he is as a unit. When I ran him in this stage, I was like, wow, I actually forgot how good AGL Cell, like, is in general. He just does so much, it's crazy. So yeah, Cell, really good. I like him, and I think the team works really well. So I was super happy with its overall performance. And we used the Dokkan attack to finish a lot of units off here. We also used the skipping ability, actually, as well, which I think is a great choice. We like skip this strength Rildo, which means we had no chance of catching a super attack before we fired our super attack, and that's big, I think, because it allows us to essentially get the Dokkan attack off without the risk of dying. Like, there was always the risk that Rildo would super and Scientist Mew would super, and then it's like, oh, we're in a tight situation. But actually, by delaying the attack, we basically guaranteed that we wouldn't die, and that was pretty big. Got the Dokkan attack off, which killed off 2 units, which again is also pretty big. And then that left us with just Rildo, which honestly was pretty easy to handle, considering we have some really strong AGL units, and also we managed to seal them as well. So yeah, honestly, absolutely fantastic run. I didn't expect to not item the SBR while showcasing the team, but it's always fun to not item the stage, and I'll have to hide this footage somewhere and then come back and record another voiceover so I can reuse it for my no item challenge series. But yeah, it was really, really good, and the team did really awesome. So honestly speaking, I just had a fantastic time with this team, and I really, really, really enjoyed like running this team. About halfway, I realized that no item run was on the cards, and I had a ton of fun running it and trying to get it to work, and this team really made it happen. I don't want to say easily, but it really made it happen really nicely. So yeah, that's basically it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. But yeah, if there's any better showcase of how good they are at SPR, beating their ESPR with no items is about as good as it gets. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.